Before the noise of modern life, there was the hum of ration lines, the clatter of factory tools, and the quiet strength of a nation at war. Buried beneath the years, forgotten in drawers, attics, and trunks, lie the everyday relics that built wartime America. These weren't treasures of gold or jewels, but of courage, simplicity, and survival. Today, we're uncovering 15 relics buried by time, the small, ordinary treasures that once carried the weight of a generation. 1. The victory pin. It was small enough to fit in the palm of your hand, but to the families who wore it, it meant everything. Victory pins, often shaped like a V or an eagle, shimmered on collars and dresses. They weren't mere accessories, they were silent prayers. Every glint of metal whispered, "We're still standing." In the dim light of a kitchen window, mothers and sisters pinned them on before stepping into another uncertain day. 2. The pocket Bible. Tattered edges, sand-stained pages, and pressed flowers between Psalms. Thousands of these small Bibles crossed oceans in soldiers' pockets. Some came home, most didn't. They carried more than scripture. Inside, notes from sweethearts, lucky coins, and folded photos told the story of love waiting across the sea. If you find one today, you're not just touching paper, you're holding faith made tangible. 3. The gas ration card. Thin as cardboard but powerful as currency, the ration card ruled daily life. Families planned meals around it. Neighbors bartered over it. One missing stamp could mean walking miles instead of driving. The edges wore soft from anxious fingers, proof of sacrifice wrapped in ink and glue. 4. The sweetheart locket. Inside a silver oval, a face smiled, sometimes a soldier's, sometimes a nurse's. Lockets traveled from battlefield to home front, passed like lifelines through uncertainty. The metal dulled, the photos faded, but the emotion inside never aged. It wasn't jewelry, it was a promise sealed in silver. 5. The war bond. Poster buy bonds build victory. These bright, heroic posters covered every wall, every corner store, every bus stop. They weren't just propaganda, they were the voice of unity. Each poster turned ordinary citizens into silent soldiers of the economy, trading comfort for country. 6. The letter from home. No sound in the trenches was more powerful than the crinkle of an envelope. Handwritten, perfumed, and often smudged with tears, these letters were oxygen to weary hearts. Each word carried, across thousands of miles of ocean, bringing warmth to places where the sun no longer felt like home. If you read one today, you can almost hear her voice again. 7. The mess kit spoon. Dented, scratched, but never discarded. That simple metal spoon fed men through mud, hunger, and fear. In foxholes and field tents, it was one of the few constants, a reminder of home in a world gone mad. Even when the fighting ended, many soldiers kept it. Not for use, but as proof that they had survived. 8. BCE. Victory Garden Tools. Behind white picket fences, small hands and weary mothers turned backyards into lifelines. Tin buckets, wooden rakes, and rusted shovels became weapons of hope. Each tomato, each ear of corn, was a small rebellion against scarcity. Those gardens didn't just feed, they reminded America it could still grow beauty amidst hardship. 9. The War Era Cookbook. Printed on cheap paper, bound with staples, often stained with grease and hope. Inside were recipes for stretching sugar, saving butter and making do with less. But between the lines of ration substitutes lay a nation's ingenuity. Mothers turned scarcity into art, and dinner into defiance. 10. The dog tags. Cold metal stamped with a name, a number, and a nation. Dog tags were both identity and mortality, a soldier's last whisper to the world. When they clinked together, they sounded like memory itself, sharp, metallic, eternal. Many were buried, many returned, all were sacred. 11. The pocket comb seems trivial. But picture this, a soldier washing his face in a tin basin before dawn, running that small comb through his hair, trying to feel human for one more day. A comb wasn't vanity. It was dignity, a reminder that under the mud and uniform, he was still a man, still himself. 12. The Blue Star window banner. Every window told a story. A small white flag with a blue star meant a family had someone serving overseas. A gold star meant they would never come home. These banners fluttered in silence, day after day, until the war ended, or until the knock on the door. 13. The field compass, small, precise, dependable, the compass guided soldiers through forests, deserts, and fog. But it also became a metaphor for hope. Even when the world spun out of control, that little needle always pointed home. 14. The Red Cross parcel. A brown cardboard box. Inside, small miracles, chocolate, socks, letters, a bar of soap. The Red Cross parcel was more than relief. It was connection. Each package carried a whisper of civilization into chaos, the taste of home in a world of ration and ruin. 15. The wedding ring. Some were mailed back, others were buried with their owners. Few objects held more silent power. Worn beneath gloves, hidden in pockets, kissed before battle. The wedding ring outlasted both war and time. When found today, it tells a love story that no headline ever printed. These relics, forgotten, rusted, or folded away, remind us that history isn't built by generals or governments, but by hands, hearts, and hope. Each tool, card, and keepsake was a fragment of courage, carried quietly through fear and loss. To touch them is to touch the pulse of a generation that endured the unimaginable and built the world we live in today. So the next time you find an old box in the attic or a dusty drawer in the barn, remember, you might not just be holding an object, you might be holding history. This is History Unburied, where the past still speaks.